Gani, everyone. This is Professor Alman Rahh, Professor Emeritus, California State University of Long Beach Africana Studies Department, former city councilman for the city of Compton, former Compton Unified School District Board of Trustees, and former Compton School District Unified School District. We want to thank each and every one of you for zooming in today. We're going to have a very important, very important discussion because history is the foundation of all understanding, and history is our record, a record of activism, a record of struggle, a record of achievement. And we're going to have this discussion about Cal State Long Beach and the Long Beach community. But before we get started, I just again want to welcome each and every one of you and hope that you will tune in. This is going to be a series from 1967 to 70 is the night we're going to discuss. And then we're going to go from 70 to 75, 75 to 80, and 80 to 85, and all the way up to 2004 when I retired. And we're going to do it in sessions. And we hope that you come back for the other sessions too. We start with the activism of the 60s that was inspired by the Black Liberation Movement. You would not have the Black conscious movement of the 60s without the Black Liberation Movement. The Black Liberation Movement was in two phases. One was the civil rights phase, which we already recognized this week, through Martin Luther King and the Christian movement of integration and thought laws of segregation, why we can do a lot of things we do today. And we give respect and honor to his martyrdom and his being a role model for young people to emulate. And we'll talk about that a little later. And we also had a Black Power movement that was a part of the liberation movement. And that started about in 67 all the way up. And it was 66, really. Well, really 65, if you count the Watts Rebellion.
I'm on a podcast.
And it changed us from Negroes to Black Empowerment, Black Empowerment movement put together by Ricky Ricks. And at that time, Stokely Carmichael, who popularized the term and the freedom of the March Against Fear when they shot James Meredith, and they completed his march. And when they were marching, it was Ricky Ricks and brother Stokely Carmichael at that time, who now he made his transition, and we give honor and respect to all that he contributed. But anyway, we want to wish all of you blessings without numbers and all good things without end, as we say in Kawita. And we want you to know you found your family in a peaceful place. And we hope that you will join us for these broadcasts. And if you have people or programs that you want to discuss, leave your name, number in the chat, or just call me or call if you want to get the number before you leave to get someone on that can talk about our achievements, our struggle, the best of us when we was at our heights and during the 60s and made excellent progress. And many people stand on the shoulders of some of the people that brought forth that consciousness. And that consciousness in Long Beach led to the first election of a Black city councilman, Jim Wilson. It led to Black activism with Frank Berry and the NAACP, Reverend Cheney, Reverend Easter, and all of them got active. Matter of fact, the first person shot during the Watts Rebellion was shot in Long Beach. It was a police officer. And most people don't know that. People just think it was in Watts. But Long Beach was on fire also. And then you remember 555 Pacific Coast, Long Beach Improvement League, and then all the other things on Olives, the Head Starts, and all those programs grew out of the Black Power movement. And we want to thank all those that contributed to it. First, we're going to get some comments from two of the people that was there in the early 60s, specifically Alfred, I call him Alfred Jones, but at that time we had nicknames. I was Sleepy Arthur Montgomery. He was Squeaky, and at that time, but he's a soldier in Long Beach way before He got active at Long Beach campus. He was captain of the Black Panther Party of Long Beach. But above all, he's just a strong brother. His whole family was strong. And he was one of the original Long Beach people. So, Brother Alfred, tell us some of the reflections that you have about not just the movement at Cal State Long Beach, but, we go back to Coleman's and restaurants, and we go back to Kelly's bookstore. We go back to some of the most beautiful things that we were doing and that people were doing.
Post and
Go ahead, Alfred.
Well, let me my memory don't fail me, brother. Yeah, them days was awakening for all of us. I was born and raised in Long Beach, so it's very personal and fundamental in terms of to be active and get involved in what was going on in Long Beach, and at the same time trying to create an atmosphere where people would get involved through my activism and through the things I learned when I got connected to the party, which was a new birth, an eye opener. You talking about a young Black man that came into all that was coming at the same time. And I remember just going up on Central to the Panther office, saying we wanted to be Panthers, and we was back in 3 days going to Huey Newton's trial there in Oakland. And on the bus, Erica Hoggins, Roland, a whole lot of people that helped the Panther Party at that time get its footing and create what followed. And I would take all that information and get it back, papers, everything, and just go out there and to whoever I could meet and whoever wanted to stop and talk and explain the Black Panther Party 10-point program, what we was trying to do, and that we wasn't going to be killed off by the police, and some of the things in the community that we had to quit doing, that we had to rise above to make this community and make our struggle a viable one, a believable one, and that we was dedicated to that struggle. Because at that time, it was all in for me and some of my other younger brothers. I mean, we was all in. That's all we wanted to be. That's all we wanted to be about. We wanted to wake up that community. Excuse me. We wanted to wake up that community, and everybody we met and talked to was about the struggle and where we were as Black people and what we needed to do. And that was the beginning, brother. Lighting that fire.
All right. Well, but the most important thing to Alfred, was that you laid a foundation, obviously with your presence. And I remember that meeting we had in '68 at an apartment when we elected Tony. But prior to Tony, there was a brother named Victor something.
Victor Brown.
Victor Brown, he was appointed the BSU president. He had transitioned from a Negro organization to a BSU. That Clyde Taylor played a major part in establishing the BSU at Cal State Long Beach. But he left in '69, and Joe White had left in '68. They were very essential to the movement. It was faculty inspired and faculty influenced as far as having that on campus. But off campus, you had a lot of, Long Beach Poly played a very important role because that's where all the Black people went to school at that time.
And then quickly tell about the Youth Action Movement, YAM.
Wow. Now you take me way back now. Yeah, that was something. What was Claude and
Pin Daddy,
Anthony Pitts,
Chris Gaines,
John Calloway.
Yeah, y'all could just name them, and them brothers kind of created an atmosphere for other brothers, the younger brothers, us, can come, and they constantly knowledge, speaking what was going on outside of Long Beach.
Woodrow.
Yeah, Woodrow Nichols.
Local,
And his brother Monk.
Yep,
Yeah,
Al
Monk.
Nichols.
Yeah. And I mean, they just kept that going. It was like I'm trying to think of some of the things back in the when we had
Hey, Squeaky, remember Katoomba?
yeah.
He was in the martial arts and stuff.
Yeah, it was so many. It was just so many people, and it came to Long Beach that was a part of that. And man, you know what's so bad now? I got to think.
I came in '68, and Squeaky, Alfred, I call him. I'm gonna still call him Squeaky. He had established the Black Panther Party, and him and I used to sell Panther newspapers on the campus, and then we have to go out and report the money that we collected to Shermont Banks. Remember Shermont Banks? I have never seen Squeaky so upset. We had to take some sunglasses up there, but they started the BSU before I got there, and I got in. Rahh, you was already a sergeant at arms. Tony was president. Dwight Herbert.
Well, me and Squeaky was sergeant of arms.
Oh, you and Squeaky were sergeant of arms?
We both was elected sergeant of arms.
Okay. And I was head of the on-campus committee, and then we were all over at the off-campus dorms, Rahh. And
at that election, when they elected Tony, we was at an apartment off of California, if I'm not mistaken. I remember we didn't elect the people at Cal State Long Beach, the first officers after Victor. It was at an apartment because Laura Murphy and Valerie invited me to it because I was dealing with Joella's sister, Vanessa, and we all came up there together, and that's when they elected Tony as president of the BSU.
And then there was Cynthia Nash. Alfred, there was Cynthia Nash. Remember, she was up there.
Yeah.
And then Clifton Mars, Chunky.
Oh, yeah, of course you got to remember Chunky. He played a major role in the Black Athlete Rebellion also. Before the '68 revolt of Black athletes, there was a movement by black athletes at Long Beach before we got there, challenging how they was treating Black athletes. Those
were exciting times. We were young. Alfred was a little older than I am, and Rahh was about a year and a half older now, and they established stuff before I even got there.
Yeah. Well, me and you, we hung out in your dorm room, so your dorm room was a centerpiece at that time, Errol.
Yeah.
But back to this, Dale Clinton.
Yes.
Going to be the president be the Grand Marshal of the Martin Luther King parade this year. She's in her 90s. You had a number of people that were very active once they saw the youth and the people strong, they came out strong. Before then, it was quiet. If it don't be for the movement, the stronger people come out. And so that was a beautiful thing.
A minute on the Zoom call.
But the community,
I'm gonna turn along.
in Long Beach was just as active as any other community.
We brought them out, no doubt about it. We brought them out to King Park.
Now, Alfred, remember, after a couple of years, we moved off campus to the Black House over there on California.
That was in '70 when y'all moved.
About '70, the Black Political Collective, and we were still holding down the BSU as well as the Black Political Collective.
We're trying to establish a base in the community.
But at the same time, the beautiful thing about the movement at Cal State Long Beach, once you established the BSU there, that you actually intimidated the campus.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you ran off 4 presidents, and you also, you made the 49er newspaper give you critical space to write articles. I think Valerie had an article.
Yes.
Dan Scott had an article, and he was a capper. And then there was the other brother, Graham. I can't remember his name, but his son took my class. But he was essential. And Dewey Dewey,
Dwight Herbert.
Dwight Herbert was very essential.
Right.
in those moves.
Well, Rahh, remember the first Black Studies program was at San Francisco State, but the first Black Studies department was at Cal State Long Beach. That we
we
set
were
started.
one of the first that started the department.
Oh.
Because see, you got to remember Cal State, at that time, Cal State, Santa Barbara,
San Francisco,
Northridge, and Cal State LA, they were on fire too.
Yes.
They were
Yes,
starting that
Cal State
stuff.
LA had a.
But we were in Long Beach. They started a statewide BSU council in the 68, 69, because it had to be 69. Because y'all would go, some of the leaders of the BSU at Cal State, it was called Cal State Long Beach then, went up north, met with some of them people to start that. But anyway, it was so intimidating. Not only did they give you space on the 49er, they also gave you a space in.
I got jumped out somewhere.
In the bookstore.
Yeah.
You had a spot in the bookstore.
That's right, because I manned the table at there.
And we got to remember the central role, the Serapis House role.
That's right.
With regard to fundraising.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah,
now, Alfred, remember now, Valerie started, and her and Laura started our newspaper, the Burning Spear. Remember that?
Yeah.
Exactly
You
right.
had your own newspaper, plus she had articles.
Yes, that's right.
And then, as well as, not just that, it was so demanding that to get the Black Studies department was a milestone because
you did what I wanted to
do. When San Francisco State, Clyde Taylor and Lindsey Thomas had a class, they was going to start a literary class before the Black Studies department was established in Long Beach. They were going to offer a class in literature.
And Orr Williams, remember Orr Williams, Alfred? Orr Williams started that literature thing with the black literature too, as well as Donna's husband.
Emory Evans.
You know who I'm talking about. You know
Emory.
Emory was essential. Emory was essential.
Yeah, poet.
He was a part of the Watts Prophet, and he was loved by the students. Loved.
Yeah, Watts Writers Workshop.
And see, what happened was, after the demand at Black Studies, and not only just that, EOP wouldn't even came into being.
Oh, that's right.
The movement and Upward Bound, all of that came from the
yes, that's right. All of that came from
that to create.
And you two played a central role in that.
Yeah,
yes,
along with Woody Elston, and at that time he came
from Compton Centennial High School. Yep.
Yeah, 68.
Curtis Clark.
And Curtis and little Smith, Sam Smith, and all of them.
Emory Evans, Squeaky. Emory Evans. I was talking about the poet.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Emory Evans.
And what Donna's husband.
That's right.
Yeah. She's a Walimu now, but and then you took it off campus. They heard Yolanda Reed them started Children's Space in Compton.
Now, remember, we used to do Malcolm X Days at King Park on May 19th, Rahh. Remember that, Alfred?
Every year.
Big one. Yeah, but before it was King Park, it was
19th Street Park. It was 19th Street Park.
Oh, yeah, before that, because that's where Pitts and not Anthony Pitts, but what's the one you had mentioned, Squeaky? I mean, Alfred.
Sonny Pitts, or you talking about
Pitts, them, all of them used to hang at the park.
Yeah, Daddy and all them.
Along with Samad, Willie Martin, and the McBride. Ernest McBride.
Right.
I think the shame of it all, though, Rahh, is that when I go on Cal State Long Beach's campus, I don't see that many black males on that campus.
That's never did now.
Well, when we started EOP, when y'all started EOP, because y'all had power.
That's right.
You had the ability to admit
recruit.
Then the European, with the assistance of the black people we put in position, June Cooper, who was a vice president, she went from speech faculty, speech to chairman of the speech department to vice president. That was all because of the movement.
That's
Barbara
right.
George. Barbara George
Right.
is the one that closed down the BSU office where you had letter and Muller on the window.
That's
Who
right.
gave it back to the business. And she made the statement, if you're an EOP student, you can't be in my class. But
But
she
let me-
wouldn't even got the deanship if it wasn't for our struggle. I'm just
Right.
saying, you know.
Let me put a little levity into it, Rahh. I'm gonna make everybody laugh. Now, Amon Ra brought in the whispers and the young hearts to the campus. And you know, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna talk to y'all because Rahh will never want to say it. He changed Squeaky, he changed 5 times, and I thought he was changing with the whisper. I thought he was changing with the whisper.
You thought
He had a deep voice.
It was
I know
called
he
the
sang with the
soul
whisper. And he
concert.
said, I didn't sing with the whisper.
We called the soul concert, the soul concert. And the first one was in the gym.
With the young hearts.
Yeah, with the young heart and Long Beach group that I sang with later.
Oh,
Group
yeah.
Thornton, the Deltones.
The Deltones.
Yeah, from Long Beach.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
And
performed.
then you know, didn't Alfred, didn't War used to be over there near the central area? The group War. They from Long Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they rehearsed
Brother
in Long Beach.
Clyde.
They
Crazy
rehearsed
Brother
over
Clyde.
there. They rehearsed over there on the 20th.
Hey, Rahh, I gotta go do this class, man. I just want to get you and Alfred over there. We can talk about. But you know what disappoints me, Alfred, when I go on that campus, there's not many black males on that campus. We got to do
But there's a
something about that.
reason. There's a
There's
reason.
sure definitely a reason.
They
Yeah.
had to dissipate the strength of black, not just black, not black students, not black women either. The enrollment that went down to about 7 or 8%.
That's a shame.
No,
And that
it's
was
a
the
strategy.
original struggle to get more blacks. There's a college, local community college in the sense, state right here in Long Beach, and we didn't have no black input, no black students. That was a whole EOP upward bound recruit. But they didn't.
Before I go, Rahh, tell them about Roland Peterson too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's in the 70s.
In the
Yeah.
70s.
71, 72.
And Ron
But
Settle.
before that, wait a minute, before that, we had Bobby Smith, and we demonstrated about Tony's assassination.
That's right.
His martyrdom. There were people that were shot before then that we struggled for.
That's right.
You
Hey,
know,
Rahh, I gotta go and do this class with these young brothers, man. Hey,
all
Alfred,
right.
we gotta get together sometime. Give me a call.
Errol, before you go, this is
Okay.
Sidney Lee. Let me say hi to you. What's up? This is Sidney Lee, now known as Rahseed, but I gotta say hi to you, Errol.
How you doing, man?
Doing great. I mean, sitting here taking it all up.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
soaking it all up. Good to see. I mean, just standing on the shoulders that you guys did. I
Well, let
thank
me
you.
tell
I
you something.
value what you've done.
Rahh
It's good to
and
see you, Errol.
Squeaky put their lives on the line. Rahh
You
and Squeaky
did
put their
too. You
lives
did
on the
too.
line for that movement.
All of us
And so did
did.
Tony
Yes, sir.
Wilkins and Dewey.
Well,
Yes, sir.
we didn't
Yes,
think
sir.
we was gonna get killed. We thought we was gonna do some killing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Sidney was a part of the movement also in the early. Sidney wouldn't lead.
I
Rahseed
came in
wouldn't lead.
spring of '71 through the EOP program.
All right.
Right.
Freddie Davis,
All
you know,
right.
Reed Burks, you know,
All right.
brought me JP Marsh, who was the cousin of BB, they played bass for war.
Yeah.
And another friend of ours who unfortunately shot him, you know, and killed him. But we were all friends, and we all came in through the EOP program in spring of 1971. And that was the time when Errol and Willie Elston, you know, they were leaving out, and we were becoming involved. And when we came in through the EOP program, I was somehow placed into, both JP and I, we were placed into Angelo Bosco's class. I don't know if you guys remember Angelo Bosco, but he was teaching. He had primarily the Chicanos, you know, the Mexicans, and he was really striving on how much the associated students made in terms of what kind of budget they. In spring of 1971, they were already operating a budget of over $1 million.
Mm-mm.
So when Jeffrey Lakes came in, where I'm going to just turn the conversation back over to you, but I came in spring, myself, J.P. Marsh, and Ryan, we came in spring of '71, and that's when we met you, Rahh, and you were teaching black man, black mass, black media. Black man, black media. Yeah, that was my first class with you. Black
All
man,
right.
mass media. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but see, before that, the black faculty was not just Oral Williams. You had Ron Lunsford, remember him?
Right,
He
right.
was out of Long Beach. He was from Long Beach. He lived there. Ron Lunsford, you had Fillmore Freeman, you had Lindsey Thomas, you had Professor Stephen Allen, Stephen something, he was a biology teacher. Miss Bass Cash was a biology teacher. And we had this brother named, I forget his name, Keith Collins, I think he was. He taught history. And then, though, all those people, and Tillman taught economics. It was very few. And the little brother Oscar that worked down in the maintenance or summer garden downstairs, Oscar was there.
Lower campus.
And then Nap Harris. Nap Harris was there. And then Ron Settle's mother worked in student activities, activities, because that's where I met her at that first time. And that's what people led that demonstration by both pieces. But we'll get into that. But Alfred, do you have any other points you want to make about when you was coming up there with the BSU at Cal State Long Beach?
Well, wow, it was like I had a dual role. It was being a student, but at the same time, that Panther role overtook everything. We was trying our best to enlighten, get students to be active, and their true role. What are you going to college? How you see yourself and going to define yourself? What is this going to be about related to the larger struggle? Because we needed the expertise, we was trying to create not only teachers and masters of different arts and different things, but also soldiers. That campus at that time, young minds, young bodies, and we had rallies, we had dances where we pulled the majority of Black people. Even those that didn't agree with us showed up to see what was going on.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be involved in that. I remember being so young and looking at pictures and being involved in that. It was there you go. It was something else.
That's well, somebody. All right, man.
Yeah, I
We'll call it today. But that's interesting, huh? Yeah. Well, I keep up with him, let him know.
Yeah, that was
next time. Thanks.
Okay.
Professor.
But Alfred,
yeah,
you remember the establishment of Black Studies where they had over 500 students from off campus came and demonstrated in the president's office.
March elected office. Yeah.
I got a picture of you being there. And,
okay.
In the newspaper, and there were a number of demonstrations. And without Tony Wilkins, who was a great leader and a non-compromising leader, and his leadership to demand the things that he demanded, and that the organization demanded, because there was you see, the BSU was a drop in, drop out. Well, I mean, drop in, drop out. There was no application to join, and we just claimed every Black person there because they thought every Black person there was in the BSU.
Right.
The Black students that didn't come didn't know that they were included by the school. Right. They put investigation on all of us.
Right.
Every Black student that came there.
They tried to arrest me on campus one day. Yeah.
So it was a very strong, but the establishment of Black studies with Lance Jeffries, Clyde Taylor, and
Remember John Calloway? Yeah, that
John Calloway. Yeah, he was one of the first faculty members. As a matter of fact, I got a list of the first faculty members in '69. You Miss Mahan, Emily Knight, Chunky, of course, Clifton Marsh, Emory Evans, Trelly Jeffries. That she was married to Lance Jeffries.
Right.
That's right. And in English, what the guy became provost?
Terry Metcalf.
Huh?
Terry Metcalf?
No. It was.
You said okay.
No, he was in speech at first, or English at first, in the English department. His name will come to me a little later. But his wife worked in language skills along with Trelly Jeffries, because she taught classes in the Black Studies department and also the language department. Anatole wife was a part of the language thing. But the beautiful thing about Tony and the leadership of the BSU in the 60s and all that is that they were non-compromised.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they disrupted the library, disrupted any place where the Caucasians administration thought they had peace. They bust down doors, offices, demonstrate. They interrupted the academic senate. And then we developed coalitions with the
Mexican organization.
Chicano.
What was that called?
Lamas and
Raza.
No, that was after. They changed it in Raza. It was something else. But not only that, SDS, Student Democratic Society. Remember, we had to save them because the football players, the white football players, was beating them one time, and we had to pull them up off of them.
Well, I'm telling you, they was all right.
It was all right. We saving white people.
Yeah, I remember that.
They were getting beat down by the radical football players at that time. So
anything white, they jumped.
Yeah, so those were serious times. We was right in the middle of the quad. They were beating the white boys, and me and you separated them. So it was a mean struggle. But getting back to Tony and that leadership, words cannot explain how they laid the foundation for the consciousness of BSUs to follow them, as far as establishing a no compromise. Now, as Errol said, when they moved from the BSU, because Bobby George took their office, and then, when I met with Stephen Horn in 69, they wanted me to work. They had shut Black Studies down. They took the keys to the office because Tony was appointed by, when they started Black Studies at first, it was a student advisory, and that was the executive board of the BSU.
Right.
You understand? And they really ran Black Studies.
Right.
And so what happened was when Jackson, who signed the contract, he was out in New York or something, Dr. Jackson, he came and got interviewed, signed the contract, but then he resigned and never came. And that's when Ernie Clark took his classes, and Calloway and all of them took his classes, and that he was supposed to. So they didn't have a chair. They didn't have a chair. It was hiring Jackson as a chair. So the student advisory appointed Tony to be the chair. So Tony was a student. He hadn't graduated.
Right.
So Trelly Jeffries, Oconee, and all of them said they wasn't going to take orders from a student.
Right.
And so they went to the administration and the administration couldn't move Tony out. So they shut the offices down, locked them out, and wouldn't pay nobody or rehire nobody.
Right.
So Tarkanian and Demos wanted me to meet the incoming president, Stephen Horn, because I was out there, you know. And so I went there, they was going to give me a job in athletics. And I said, no, we want to reopen Black Studies. That's how I got into the mix with Black Studies. I didn't really want to run it. I went to the BSU executive board and said, and I got it in an article, and said, we're going to rehire everybody y'all hired. Well, first of all, when they told me that they was going to let me have the position, I didn't keep it a secret. I ran to the BSU office and talked to the leadership and told them, hey, listen, I got them to reopen Black Studies because they were planning big demonstrations when fall started. This was in the summer.
Right.
And so I was reopening. Y'all can run it. I got it in the article also. We rehiring everybody y'all hired. I just wanted to get it back open. And y'all run it. But they got the leadership, not the masses of BSU, but the leadership said, no, we was planning demonstrations and we was going to run it. So they got mad at me. I said, oh, wow. So I said, damn, so I had to learn how to run a department by myself almost. And I brought back Emory. I asked every one of them to come back. Coney stayed, Trelly Jeffrey stayed, Jeffrey. Chris Onick, he left. Chunky said he was going to get his PhD. And a couple of others, they wouldn't. Evelyn Knight, she said she wasn't coming back. She was part-time anyway. And so anyway, it was like that. But that's how.
They're fighting over them pay slots.
And so they reconstituted the Black Studies Department, and they appointed me as administrator with all the duties of a chairman. And so that's when. But I told them they thought they would be able to run Black Studies from the white administration by hiring me.
Right.
But I kept it black. You didn't understand. And so that's when they made the move on me in 72. And I kept my line. They said, he's a damn double agent. I say, hey, man, I ain't never like that. Y'all. But anyway, that's how we got started with the Black Studies Department. And that's why Tony was the first student chair of Black Student Union, Black Studies. But I was the first chair of the reconstituted department in 1970. They reconstituted, started it all over. And that's when we started moving strong. And the enrollment doubled. But the classes that we had, Black Reality, the Ghetto Child, Needs of the Ghetto Child, Afro-American Social Thought, Black Development of Black Literature, Afro Literature, Black Theater Art. At one time, we were proposing a guerrilla warfare class.
Yeah.
And then we had Black Science and Math and Science. We had research, all of that. Our goal was to get a school of ethnic studies. That was the goal.
Yeah.
But to this day, we don't have a master's because we put people like June Cooper, Doug Robinson, and all
it was all we had, that all was there, that, with us not having no history of these people and history how to run things, we thought people was just, Black gonna fall in line and be a part of the struggle. Well, they working for a payroll.
Yeah.
They working to be recognized and shit.
Yeah, Jim Robinson.
They wanted to handle us.
And
That's
when
what
we
they
brought,
trying to do.
when we brought Walter Reed in for the affirmative action officer, his job, he started criticizing them for their racism. And they said, we didn't bring you in here for that. We brought you in as an affirmative action officer to help us get around the law. You know,
Show us ways we can do what we want to do.
And see, Jim Robinson was hired as a dean, but he couldn't get hired unless we gave him retreat rights, because no white department would give him retreat rights. That's how he got the Black Studies. He didn't apply to Black Studies. He fell in Black Studies because they got rid of him as a dean in faculty development. And that's how he got in there. Walter Reed, I met with him and told him when he got hired as director of affirmative action, because he was criticizing them about not hiring blacks in the library.
Right.
I told him, get your retreat right. He had never heard of that until I brought it up to him. And that's how he got to be a counselor. He got his retreat rights in being a counselor. But he didn't come there as a counselor. He came there as director of affirmative action. But when he didn't play ball with them, they wouldn't rehire him. But he had faculty rights to go back into counseling. And Jim Robinson, who came there in education from Stanford, he went to school with the dean, Mannheim, and their job was to get me out of Black Studies. His job was to get me out of Black Studies. And that when they couldn't do that, and then they moved him. He's supposed to have been the dean, because Hayden Cox, I don't know if y'all remember, he was the dean of the School of Letters and Science. He retired, and Robinson was hired as the second over faculty development, academic development. He was supposed to take his place, but they got rid of him right after, when they knew that Hayden Cox was going to retire. They offered him some more money to take faculty development. And then they fired him from faculty development, and he ended up with his retreat rights in Black Studies. But as Alfred said, we thought we was getting a Black dean that was going to help us. But Robinson at that time was coming there to down Black Studies. Yeah, I mean, that's the way that went. So first of all, I'm gonna get some questions, and anybody, Brother Thigh, do you have any questions you want to ask, discussion, comment? And although you came in the 80s, you were very essential.
No, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
All right then.
Yeah, I appreciate the history.
And what about this brother? He just got iPad too.
Who's that?
You muted. You muted.
Hey, what's up, Professor Amara?
All right.
It's Brother Justin Bradley. I'm the young brother who brought you guys back in 2017. BSU reunion. And I'm just sitting back, soaking up game, man. But I remember these conversations.
And thanks for doing that. This is Brother Moon. He's at the canteen, Main Street. You were there. Yeah, all the BSU presidents.
Yeah.
This brother was there. It was called the Nugget when we was there.
Yeah.
Right. It's Golden Nugget.
Is it called the Nugget? It's not called the Nugget no more?
No. Well, let me tell you the history. And
okay.
Rahseed knows this. The Nugget was, we had just a little cafeteria space. We didn't eat in a big cafeteria. Just
we went in there.
We ate in a little corner. And the Nugget was named after J.P. Marsh. Then they named it J.P. Marsh. And then they cracked back and took the name off and made it grow into something else. I forget the name of it now. But Rahseed was there when they named the Nugget J.P. Marsh Place or something like that. Is that right, Rahseed?
J.P. Marsh Coffee House.
Coffee House. All
yes,
right. And that was after him and his martyrdom and his contribution. J.P. was non-compromising. I mean, he'd smoke him some weed and he'd go out there and Boy, he kicked out doors, brother, him and Rahseed. And then, but thanks, Thomas, for doing that. This brother with the iPad, too.
Oh, I'm Ernie McBride Jr.
No,
You know
you
me.
ain't.
So anyway, yeah, a lot of guys you named off like Johnny Calloway and Sonny Pitts. I knew a lot of them, but I was there early on campus because I went there 61 to 63.
Wow.
And I quit, and then because I was married, my wife had
He was my
kids.
first secretary. Tell the truth.
Huh?
Linda was my first secretary. And you and Mike. And
Right.
you and Martin showed me the
brother
high.
Willie Martin, because I played with Willie. He was there with me, and they had the AK, A5, the fraternity, and that was kind of the only thing they had going at that time. But I knew
Jimmy
Pitts
Swan.
and all them, but they kind of came later after us. So
Yeah, Jimmy Swan.
McBride, I didn't know that.
yeah, because Johnny Calloway and we ran together in high school, and then we ran at City College for 2 years, and like in '57, and then he went on to state, and I quit after I graduated from City. Well, I got drafted in the Army from 61 to 63, and then when I came out, I played football at Cal State there for 63 and 64 season.
So you was with D?
Pardon?
Was you with D and Rambo?
Well, Rambo, no, I'm ahead of Rambo because I'm, about, while I was with D, but see, I was like 4 or 5 years older than them. And D was the one that taught me to coming out in the city.
Okay.
He said, man, you ought to come out for the team in 60. And I said, man, I'm too old to be playing with you guys, And he said, no, you can make the team because of your speed. You be the fastest guy on the team. And said, man, we go on these trips and blah, blah. So that's what made me go out, in 60 for the football team.
Yeah.
And we won the junior road, won the national championship. And then that following season, track, because I originally ran track with Johnny Calloway in 57 on the team. And then I came back in 61, and that's when D. Andrews was there, and Willie Martin. So we played on that team, and we had Coach Don Reed, I think was the coach, and then later on they got George Allen, and then when he passed, that was it for football.
Yeah.
But you're talking about Ron Settles. See, I worked with Ron's dad, man, for about 3 years at the airport in the late 50s. I think about 57, 58, and 9, somewhere along in there.
Settles.
Yeah.
Okay, well, brother, that's beautiful, man. I'm glad you on, brother.
Yeah, my brother Carl just left. You know him.
Yeah,
he just left a few minutes ago. So.
Oh, I wish I could have hollered at that boy.
Yeah, man, he left. I told him, man, wait, because we was trying to get the iPad going there because usually my granddaughter do all this stuff for me. So.
Okay. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you being here. We gonna.
Yes, so it was enjoy you naming all those guys. Earl Satchel and Johnny Calloway and them. I saw, I grew up with those guys,
Yeah, we got some pictures I got to dig up. I got some pictures.
All right.
I got to dig up.
Me and Johnny Calloway was in the group, and then you was talking about war, with Charles Miller and Eric Burton and those guys that got war up. So
yeah,
that's good. Jimmy Swan and
right.
And I think he married, what's that sister that sang?
Thelma
Houston.
Thelma Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thelma
All of
still
that.
Comes to town every time something come up, she shows up because I think they're going to name Long Beach Poly track for Don Norford and his wife on March 1st.
And
12 to 3 at the Poly track. Yeah.
Oh, I know nothing about that.
Yeah, so Thelma
that went to Poly.
I get email from Crystal Irvin, the track coach, because she ran. We coached her back in '85 and '86, you know. And
Mhm.
here she come back and turn out to be the coach.
What about
So yeah,
what's the girl that ran track played tennis? Gibson?
oh, Billie Jean, not
No,
King.
not Billie Jean King. It was a
Oh,
sister that went to Poly.
ran track and
No, she ran track. She played tennis or something.
No, she ended up with a dealer in Vegas. What's the name? God, John Watson. She's Watson. Went her brother. Played
Yeah.
football with her brother. What
Well,
is
I can't remember. I think that, but anyway, if people forget what made Long Beach in the 60s strong was the basketball and football and track.
yeah.
right?
They made black excellence.
Right.
Then when Tarkanian took over Long Beach State,
Oh yeah, man.
that's
Right.
when he brought me, Sam, and George Trapp and Sean Johnson, and from Long Beach. He's the original Long Beach brother.
Because I think my cousin, my uncle Martin Veal had some classes with you, I think.
Me and Martin Gill were
Yeah,
roommates.
Martin, yeah.
Yeah, I call him Pep. He took over the Black Athletic Association.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's up in Sacramento.
Yeah, he comes down. We see him at Christmas, but he didn't come this year. Sent a
Yeah.
lot of Christmas cards. He say he'll see us later, you know.
Yeah, we eat breakfast with some old men every week.
Oh, okay.
Up in Sacramento. I talk to him all the time.
Oh,
But listen, brother, we're going to carry on this. Brother King Fareed, how you doing?
I'm great. Can you hear?
Yeah, brother. It's good that you're on.
First off, can I say a few things?
Yes, go ahead. Of course, we ain't going to stop you from that.
All right. First off, I want to say good evening, Barigani, Nubian kings and queens, and those of us of the diaspora. Good evening. And first off, to you, to your colleagues, for continuing to offer and pro-offer life-affirming insights and forward thinking. We couldn't be blessed anymore than when you do it again.
Yeah.
So that's the foundation. The other side of it is everything I say about the BSU of Long Beach is experiential. It's firsthand. It's not hyperbole. It's what I experienced, what I saw, what I felt. And this is a subject that is extraordinarily dear to me. Mm. The first time I stepped foot on campus in Long Beach State was in the fall of '76. I got to Long Beach State coming out of high school, a year and a half, just kind of meandering about, not, having a direction. And a buddy of mine at that time who I'd been hanging around high school with was Danifu Sayed Kareem. Mm. He had come out of the institution and he was able to get into Long Beach State through a program. What he did for me, he invited me down there and I sat in front of Nap Harris. And we talked about me and my history and this and that. And I didn't have, the backstory that Danifu had, but Nap Harris allowed me to come in. Thank God for Danifu. Thank God for Nap Harris. At the time, I got in that campus. And everything that took place from there, from 76 through 80, early 81, because I was a little slow in my classes, has been profound in my life. Absolutely profound. Starting with day one of me walking into the Black Studies, Rah's Black Studies course. I forget the title of the course at the time, but this is day one, and it's etched in my brain. I walked in, and there was a lot of students in there, and I just wanted to take a couple classes to learn some things, because during my high school, we had the topical subjects. Nobody delved into Malcolm X. My parents talked about it, but at school, I got none of that. When I started my high school, it was probably 50-50 white and black. By the time I graduated high school, it was probably 95 black at that time. So, but I still didn't get that type of training and insight. So I didn't come to college with that. I was coming to college because my mom wanted to keep me off the streets. But when I walked into that class that day, and I saw Professor Rahh standing there, and see if you remember this, Aman, standing there in a 3/4 black leather jacket, braids like Stevie Wonder, long past his shoulder, sunglasses on. First thing came to my mind is, this Black Jesus come to life? It was a visual for me. I hadn't seen that outside of pictures and TV for the Panthers. So I don't know nothing about that. But I was intrigued to begin with. Then he opened his mouth. And I start learning from that very first word till he stops opening his mouth. I'll continue to learn. And I was just hooked. I probably took about 10 of his classes, and he might be mad at me because some of them I didn't show up a lot. But I took them because the subject matter, when I went into class, it was robust. The discussions were lively. It was germane to who we were. And a lot of things that I learned from him and some of the other leaders at the time, Dr. Karenga, Beatson Salo, and some of the other people, really kind of etched my thinking. And one of the phrases that I retained from Dr. Karenga is this: reimagine the world in your own image and interest. And I took that to heart, and I started looking around at everything I saw and did and where I went and who I rode with, and I started reevaluating all of it. And it had to change. And fortunately for me, God is good. He had these other students come to the school in the next 1, 2, 3 years, or they were there, and I started connecting and being gravitated towards them. The Barry Thomases, the Sister Rose, the Michael Williams, the Jerry Davis, the Brother Jew Balls, the Diabetes, the Sister, excuse me for forgetting names right now, but these people, I gravitated toward them, and all we wanted to do was be better, not as individuals, but as a collective. With Dr. Rah's support and a few others that supported us, that Black Student Union that we were able to build from 76 forward became, to me, one of the strongest Black Student unions in the Cal State system, to the extent that we were going to other schools with programs. Through that program, I got a chance to sit with and introduce Mr. Farrakhan. I got a chance to sit in front of Haki Matabuchi. I got a chance to sit in front of Chancellor Williams. I mean, it was just life-changing and absolutely profound to me. I still talk about this history. Out of that period also came, my name is Richard King Fareed, or R. King Fareed. That is my name. But that individual that I just said was born because of the Black Student Union, because of Dr. Rahh, because of those things. It was born on that campus in 76. And I became official with the government in terms of passport, license, everything else in King Fareed, Richard King Fareed. So I owe a great deal to that Black Student Union, to those people, to Dr. Rahh, all the rest of them that were there to help shape a whole lot of new minds, young minds, impressionable minds.
Yes.
So I can go on about this. I don't want to go too far, but for a guy like me,
yeah. See, we doing this in segments.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
The 60s, then we're gonna go to the 70s, and then 75 to 70.
Yeah. Well, all my comments started 76.
Yeah.
Apologies.
You're gonna have your opportunity because you're gonna be on. But
yes,
brother, I say from Detroit, brother Ahi, you have any comment? He's out of Detroit.
Yeah, Ahi is not able to talk. His mic is not working.
Okay. We heard you.
That was me.
Oh,
Rahseed.
Oh, his mic's not working. What about Mshinda? He's out of Louisiana in deep snow.
Is he still here?
Yeah. Mshinda?
No, he's not here. He must have left.
Oh, that must be you then. Okay, well, listen. We're going to continue this. McBride and all that. I sent the information to Martin and Carl, and I'm going to try to get them back because they were essential in the 70s, especially Martin, when we had ethnic group relation with Hank Johnson, who was an Asian, who worked at the dean's office, and we had an office that brought all the groups together, but we didn't develop the coalition that he envisioned. He brought us there together to really develop an alliance with each other to make us even stronger. But for some reason, we couldn't connect that. He wouldn't say that personally, that, y'all need to get together and demonstrate and do that and do that. But you got to remember, we was in the midst of the Vietnam War. And as Stokely said, hell no, we ain't going. We ain't going to go. And other things that happened. But this has been a beautiful experience this evening.
Professor Rahh, excuse me.
Yeah.
We got Jenje and Lionel Henson. I don't think you went to them. And
Okay, well, yeah, where's they at? I don't see them.
Jenje's right here.
But then, oh, Jenje, she's the essential sister.
Yes.
And she was there when we first started. She's a Rasta now.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jenje.
She,
Here you go.
she
You're
have to
on
unmute.
mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're still on mute.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Jenje's strong sister. She's still on mute. You still on mute, Jenje.
Can't hear you.
How often are you going to do this, Professor Amon-Ra?
We're
How
going to
often?
do it for the rest of this month, every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And then we're going to go to all the month of February, because it's going to go all the way up to 2004. We're going to get Dr. Crain on in the because he took over the department after me, but he came in '79, and he has a lot to talk about. His
Okay.
first impressions when he first got there, and then
okay, let's see.
right.
I wonder.
Hey.
Hey, greetings, greetings, yo. Wow. I love the history. Oh, I'm like, feel like I'm in the desert being fed, okay? Water. The background history is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal, Ra. I never knew, because, shoot, I thought it was all about us. I mean, Fareed really, oh God, his enthusiasm. He just reminded me of our young selves and what we wanted to do and what we did do. And all of the persons that we met during that time, Dr. Robert Staples, Hakeem Matabutu, yes, Rashideen came on and turned my world upside down. And Furry was talking about walking into your class. It was September 1976, and I walked into the class, psychology of the Black athletes.
No, exploitation of the Black athletes.
Okay, there it is. I met Mashariki there, who we still buzz to this day. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. Changed my life. Put me in touch with myself that I'm still experiencing to this day.
Well, you're free. Once you know who you are, it don't make no difference where you are, what they do to you. As long as you maintain that discipline, it's hard to stay Black. We had a lot of people that was Black on campus turned white when they left. A lot of the Black faculty that was there in the 60s, they all left and married white women.
Wow.
Joe
Exactly.
White, all of them did. They went to Irvine. And Clyde Taylor, he went to Mills College, the all-white girl college. But they were strong.
Wow.
We remember them for their contribution, not
That's
their
right.
contradictions. And we give praise and thanks to them for that. And even you, Jenje, you was one of the strongest sisters, mobilizing and vocal, very vocal. Even though you were young, you were vocal. So.
Right. I remember the name changing ceremony.
Yeah.
Wow, that
Yes.
was an experience. And as Fareed mentioned, my ID says Jenje on there. Yes, my passport says Jenje, and I never went and asked nobody. I just did it.
Yeah.
To this day. Okay.
That's how Kwanzaa was started. They didn't demonstrate. They didn't ask the government. To this day, the people made Kwanzaa, not the government. Right. It wasn't. They didn't ask for no proclamations and none of that. So that's strong. That's strength. And so we have to keep on pushing. But Jenje, you essential. What year was you there?
I was there. I started in '76, and I believe by '77 I became president. And Rose after me. I'm not sure. I think it was me, Jerry, and Rose.
Majaliwa.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and then we had some great presidents. Great presidents of the BSU.
And we've put on some phenomenal programs. I mean, the Black Consciousness Conference. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, we talk about that in 79 when we get to 79. You know I'm gonna bring that up. So
Okay.
we went to Castlegate.
We jumping in. We excited about our time.
Yeah, Black Consciousness Conference started when we went to the State of the Race conferences that were started by the Pan-African Secretariat. Yeah. They had one in 78, 79, I think at Pepperdine and somewhere else. And that's when Haki, Dr. Ben, Francis Creswell.
Yes.
Okay, then they had the second one at Davis Junior High. And then they had the third one at Castlegate up north, and I took students there. And on the way back, we did with Jerry Davis, Michael Williams, and a bunch of students. We went there, and that's when we said, we're going to start a conference. And that's when we got the Black Consciousness Conference. Because everybody was talking, are you conscious? Are they conscious? Because we considered Black people that wasn't active unconscious.
That's right. To their face. We said this to their face. It wasn't behind their back. It was to their face. We let them know.
Oh, the bake sales. Everybody was just participating. But the Black Studies Student Association came into being also. So we're going to talk about that next week. Okay. I just want to tell all of y'all this has been a beautiful experience. And I always love to see my brother Squeaky because we come from the same background. We both street. Yeah. And when we got to Long Beach State, we came with Black credentials. And see, a lot of people turned Black, but we were already there. I mean, we was gangsters before that. And so we was hard. But anyway, next week we'll be doing the same thing, but we're gonna cover 1970 all the way up to 75. And so I want y'all to be there. And we cannot leave out the fact that Thibidi Grayson is the one that reorganized the BSU and got it organized. As far as the preamble, as far as the Constitution. I mean, he laid it out. And he was probably one of very progressive among the other great leaders of the BSU. We're going to hear from him. We're going to hear from a lot of people. It's going to be like a reunion. But we need to document this. This will be on YouTube. And we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday. CEN, Community Education Network, presents its program, which Brother Rahseed, Maskani, he's going to tell you what's going to be on tomorrow night. And then, I mean, we've been doing this. We've had Craig Hodges on. We've had Glenn McDonald on. We've had a lot of strong people on. We've had Maulana on, Dr. Karenga. We had a number of people that has been part of our shows. So we want, if you know somebody that have something to say that's conscious and uplifting, we don't talk negative. They can't come on here talking about Black people ain't doing nothing and we ain't nothing and Black on Black crime. We don't want to hear all that. You understand? We want to hear positive growth. This foundation history got to be documented, and I'm hoping that we'll transcribe this as a part of a book, the sayings and the conversation. So make sure you put your input in because you're going to be a part of a book. All right, then we're going to, Brother Rahseed, you want to go ahead and tell them about tomorrow and take us home?
Okay. Yes. Let me show you the flyer for tomorrow. So we have a security organization coming on tomorrow. They are ex-Marines, and they're going to be talking about the various levels of trafficking. So that should be very interesting.
Okay.
That's what we have going on tomorrow.
All right.
What
But
time?
Same time, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
All right, we'll be.
Also, Professor Rahh, this brother Ijau, brother.
Yeah, Ijau. Oh, I'm sorry, Ijau. Go
I
ahead.
just want you to know that all
We can't hardly hear you. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Ijau.
Okay.
There you
Bad
are.
connection. Well, I'll get you next.
No,
It's a little better now.
come on. You clear now. You clear now.
Okay. Yeah, I just want you to know that before I was even a part of the BSU, brother, I met all those brothers. I met Woodrow Nichols and Errol Parker and all those brothers in the community before I even became a part of the BSU. And those brothers befriended me and schooled me to the community in Long Beach. And it's just funny how that's how I even embraced the Black Student Union, not even knowing that those brothers were a part of the organizing of the Black Student Union. So that's pretty profound. And, you know, I come out of Oakland. I came out of the Black Panther community when I was a youngster. And I grew up right there in Oakland around the Black Panther Party. And my mother never wanted me to even have a leather coat. But I was always running behind the Black Panther Party as a youth, riding my bicycle to the rallies and always checking them out. So it's just amazing how life goes forth. But I just want to say that, brother, and I look forward to continuing to be a part of this, this knowledge.
But not only you, the first president that was president of the BSU and president of a fraternity at the same time. That's how unified we were.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
That's beautiful. That's great. So, hey, we wish all of y'all blessings without numbers, all good things without end. Hope that you would tune in and share this information with others. And if you keep the link, give it to other people that you think might want to be a part. Darryl, we're looking forward to hearing from you and the contributions you made, because this brother kept Black Studies open, got Maulana back hired with his demonstration leadership, wrote the Constitution, or reconstituted the Black Student Union, and wrote the preamble that I hope he reads it, because it's one of the best preambles that all BSU should use. We not
absolutely.
I mean, so we're gonna have that. So all right, I'm gonna say two-time knowledge to everybody with me. I'll see you later. And that
two-time knowledge.
All of y'all blessings long as the rivers flow and the sun shine. All right then. See y'all next week. Hopefully.
Next week.
All right.
Peace,
Good.
sisters.
Real good.
Wonderful.
Okay, good folks. Take care.
All right, peace.